Alright, making shot bags, fairly simple process, but I don't use tape. I hate tape, it's too stiff, it tends to crack, and the shot bag may or may not break. I don't want to take that risk. So 3/8 inch dowel, about 1 inch long, is what I typically use, unless the client wants a heavier shot bag, and it'll simply increase the size of the dowel. Roll it over, mark where the overlap starts. I'm using a Sharpie permanent marker, silver metallic. So I've marked the overlap at the start. I'm going to make a very short one just as an example because I don't have a need for a shot bag right now. I'm going to mark the line for the approximate length of the shot bag. There is no need to be precise with the length. None whatsoever. About 2 feet for a 6-foot whip, about 18 inches for a 3-foot signal, whatever. Notice it's about. It's not exact. It doesn't matter. I'm going to leave about 1 centimeter at the top for the overlap. And it's going to narrow. If you notice down at the point, the overlap narrows down a little bit to maybe 5 millimeter or so and continues to a point. Straight cut. Boom. Done. There's a shot bag core. Let me move this out of the way. How to close up the shot bag? Well, that's rather simple. I try to keep the smooth side of the hide towards the inside so that the shot doesn't get hung up on the fuzz. So knowing that, I need to glue this side, the fuzzy side. And for that, I'm going to move to the vise. Just hang it up in the vise, alright? Grab my contact cement. Where is it? There it is. Oh, it's about a 15-year-old bottle. Lots of contact cement on the outside.
Goodbye.
Alright, now we just layer on some contact cement up to the line we made. And once you get towards the point, cover it all, because you're going to roll a solid point at this stage. And then flip it over. And put another line of contact cement on the other edge. You may want to wear gloves for this. It's entirely up to you. I'm so used to doing it that I don't really care much anymore. A little bit of lacquer thinner takes it right off. And now we wait for it to flash off, and I will continue. Okay, it's been about 10 minutes, which is more than enough time for the contact cement to flash off and get tacky. I've taped a little piece of waxed paper down so it doesn't stick to the bench. Not really necessary, but it helps. And I would just start folding it over. I want to fold over the seam, the edge. And I'm going to take the far edge and line it up with that line that I drew when cutting the shot bag and press down like so. I'm going to do this all the way down to the point. And again, it does not have to be exact. All the braiding that you're going to do on top of this will easily make up for any variations. I don't know if you can see this, but I'm trying to make it clear. Just fold it over to the line, right there. Take the far edge, bring it up and over. And glue it down. When I start getting down to the point where the overlap is really great and you're running out of room, just roll it. What this does is it closes the bag up and it continues the taper of the core. The contact cement makes sure that it becomes a solid point. Nothing fancy, nothing quirky, it's not exact science, it's just a shot bag, folks. Okay, once I have it tacked down, I'm going to burnish it with my fingernail. Make sure that it makes full contact all the way down. And there you have my shot bag. Okay, now I'm going to round it out a little bit. Make some squares. Alright, I have a 1/8 inch rod, in this case brass. It has been, it's been filed down to a taper to a point about 1/16 inch or so. Belt sander works fine for this. I'm going to stick it in and open up the shot bag as far as I can to the point. And again, it's not exact. If you get within 2 or 3 inches of the point where it starts to become solid, you're fine. Don't stress about it. It's not worth stressing, really. And then I'm going to pull it out a little bit there. Okay, that's all you need. Now we're going to fill it up. I use number 12 lead shot, sometimes known as free flow. Very fine stuff. If you spill it, it's all over the place. You're not going to recover it, so be careful. I'm just going to pour a little bit into the bag with the rod. Not a whole lot yet. Then I'm going to tamp it down with the rod. Try to get all that lead down in there. Again, do not stress it. It does not have to be perfectly filled as long as there is some weight down there. You're not going to get a whole lot into the point, so just don't stress it. I see too many people get all kinds of bent out of shape and spend hours and hours trying to fill a shot bag. Not necessary. Just not necessary. The shot bag is there only to add weight and start to form the taper of the whip. No more, no less. Okay. Roll it around a little bit. Try to get the shot moving down. This is where free flow or number 12 lead shot is exemplary. It's very fine. It can get into these tight spaces and form a really nice taper. Done that, I'm going to smack it a couple times. That also helps move the shot down. You feel a little bit of slack in here. It's not quite filled up. That's fine. That's perfectly fine. Okay, I'm going to take this dowel, 3/8 inch by about an inch or so, and it ends there. So I'm going to continue to fill it to that point. Maybe a little bit past that. Give it a shake, settle it all in there. Right, filled up. You notice that the seam at the top is still open. That's fine. You're going to be using that. There is a purpose to that other than not spilling shot all over the garage floor. Now I'm going to take some adhesive. In my case, my favorite adhesive is Fabri-Tac. It's a super fast tack, flexible fabric adhesive. A little bit expensive, but you don't use a whole lot of it, so it's worth getting. And it sets up very quickly. Acetone based, it flashes off very, very quickly for a tack. I'm going to coat the dowel with a little bit of it. And I'm going to insert the dowel into the shot bag. Now, I'm also going to push that dowel in as far as it will go. Pulling up on the shot bag, and then glue the edges down onto the dowel so you have a nice firm start. Otherwise, what happens is when you start braiding, you'll get a dip right in here as it pushes the shot down. Not critical, don't stress about it. It just is, and you can deal with it once you start braiding. Okay? Piece of cake. I'm going to lay a rubber band on there until the glue sets. It takes about half an hour or so for the glue to set, but it's tacked up enough that I can actually start braiding at this point. I can start braiding the first belly without a problem at this point. There you have the shot bag. Okay. Simple, neat, no tape. What I like about this is that it's stronger than tape because it doesn't get brittle and it flows just like the whip should. This shot bag is not going to break no matter what the client does to it. The dowel in the end gives me a firm foundation for all the subsequent layers that we're going to lay on here. And when we get to the butt, the heel joint, or bleh, sorry, it's early in the morning. When we get to the heel knot and the strap, if they want a strap, it gives me a foundation to tack into without destroying the shot bag itself. Okay, it's a very firm foundation. It helps make the whip very, very durable. There you have it. Simple shot bag.